Well, hello there, everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Just wrapping up our week here. This is going to be, as you know, episode number 7 because it is a Friday. And welcome, everyone. Our master topic for the week, in case you're wondering, is building a better world through love, resilience, and renewal. And tonight's his granular topic, excuse me, had some pretzel in my teeth there. Rooted in Compassion, Rising Through Challenge, Series 4, Show 21, Episode number 7. And I do want to welcome every one of you here to the show. And I invite you definitely later on to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. That's long form and short form content. Definitely check it out. I know you will definitely be inspired. So what are you waiting for? All right, guys. I know it might be late, or depending on when you're watching this, maybe you want to get a snack. Like I'm actually going to have a nice slice of chocolate cake a little bit later. But maybe you want something cold, maybe you want something hot, maybe you want something healthy or not. That's totally up to you. Go and get that and head on back from the kitchen so we can kick off this show. All right, guys. Again, like I said, welcome, 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 and welcome. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm not only a podcast host, but I'm also a podcast coach, an engineer, and lots of other great things to inspire and help you become better. So, in this powerful episode here tonight, I'm exploring how gratitude is not just an emotion, but it's a mindset and a way of life. Whether you're navigating smooth seasons or facing life's toughest challenges, gratitude has the power to reframe your experiences, build resilience, and keep you grounded in purpose. Now, from daily rituals to mindset shifts, we uncover how embracing gratitude can unlock deeper learning, strengthen relationships, and add meaning to every step of your journey. But today or tonight, I'm going to go even further than that. I'm going to unpack the real truth, the real life practices that empower us to rise, especially when life gets, well, let's say a little messy. From offering you encouragement during adversity to leading with integrity and transforming hardships into growth. This episode is your key for heartfelt reminders that we're all in this together. It was a great song. I'm not going to sing it, but it's like we're all in this together. It's a great song. Um, let's dive into 10 essential ways to live with true purpose. Number 1, you ready? I hope you are. All right. Encouraging others through adversity. In times of struggle, encouragement becomes, well, a lifeline. Whether it's a few thoughtful words, a helping hand, or simply showing up, supporting someone through adversity can be the very thing that changes their outcome and yours. Encouragement isn't about fixing someone's problems, it's about being a steady presence that reminds them they are not alone. By being a beacon of hope for others, we often discover our own inner strength, shining brighter than we realize. And I think that's something that a lot of us have to appreciate. Number 2, staying committed in the face of hardships. You know, we all get hardships, we all get these bad cards sometimes, but hard cards come and hard cards go. Challenges will test your resolve, but it's your commitment that carries you through. Perseverance doesn't mean you never fail, guys, or falter. It means you rise each time you do. I don't care if you get knocked down 50 times. It's not how many times you get down, it's how many times you're able to get back up. And vision, despite the roadblocks that you hit, we become examples of true resilience. And in those moments where you want to quit, but choose to keep going, you build that tough character that can last a lifetime. Commitment transforms pressure into power. So, why don't we start actually living and building commitment so we can truly embrace that? Number 3, guys, leading with heart and integrity. I know so many people that just want to lead, but they don't lead for a true purpose. They lead for something they think that's going to help them, but really, it's just going to get them in more trouble. True leadership is not about authority. Unbeknownst to what you might think from a lot of people that are leaders, if they're giving you that impression, well, they're not a great leader. It's about authenticity. When we lead with true heart and integrity, we invite others to trust, connect, and grow. You see, people don't remember titles. They remember how you made them feel. Integrity means standing for something even when it's hard. And heart means caring enough to lift others as you lead. This kind of leadership builds cultures that thrive, not just survive. And I think that's an important point for all of us to realize is that we truly can thrive. But we've got to want to do that. All right. We've got to want to do that. If we do that, then I can tell you that life is going to get a lot better for you. A lot better. Number 4, celebrating progress, not perfection. I know so many people out there that they only want to celebrate when they get perfection. And although that's really nice, um, it's not going to help you get to where you want to be. All right. In fact, it's going to only frustrate you more. So celebrate progress, not perfection. Perfection is a myth, but progress is magic. Remember what I said a while back? Done is better than perfect. We can always make it better, right? But getting it done is better than being perfect. By shifting our focus from flawless outcomes to meaningful movement forward, we invite joy and self compassion into the process. Every step matters, every effort counts. When we celebrate milestones, no matter how small, we keep momentum alive. This mindset transforms criticism into curiosity and setbacks into stepping stones. Practicing everyday kindness and fairness is also important. See, kindness is a quiet force, guys, that changes everything. It's not always grand gestures that do it. Sometimes it's a smile, it's a thoughtful message, or it's listening with the full intention and the attention that you want to give. When paired with fairness, kindness becomes a culture builder. Fairness means treating people with equal respect and consideration, regardless of the status or opinion. Together, they create a ripple effect that builds trust, morale, and belonging. But I think a lot of times people get stuck in believing what another person has said. And then they like kick themselves in the foot and they can't go further. Not because they don't want to, but because they've created this new belief that they can't. You ready for number 6? Building respectful, meaningful connections. Building respectful, meaningful connections. Building respectful, meaningful connections. So, relationships are the soul of fulfilling life, if you haven't gathered that by now. At the heart of every great connection is true mutual respect. Meaningful relationships are not built overnight, sorry to say. They're built moment by moment, breath by breath, through true honesty, presence, and vulnerability. When we truly see and value others, we create safe spaces for them to flourish and for us to grow alongside them. We're not judgmental. We're people that just want to coexist, get to know each other, help each other, benefit each other. That's what life's all about, guys. Number 7, I want you to embrace change as a path to growth. Embrace change as a path to growth. And that sounds like something that is very, let's say, weird, but it's not weird. Okay. Um, and I think most people don't quite understand that they have more power than they think they do. Does that make sense, everyone? I hope that you understand like what this means to you. Maybe you'll think about it. Maybe you'll understand that true Relationships come from not only being vulnerable, but by sharing the true essence of who we are. We're not trying to impress anybody. We're not trying to appear bigger or better than anyone. We're just trying to be, living in the moment. So change can feel like disruption, but it's often an invitation we need to evolve. See, growth doesn't come from comfort zones. When we lean into uncertainty with curiosity instead of fear, we begin to discover who we really are. Change teaches us flexibility, creativity, and resilience. The key is not to resist it, but to ride it like a wave. Knowing each turn may lead you to something better. Uplifting communities with positive action is my next point. One person can make a difference. And when many come together, movements are born, communities thrive, new traditions are formed, and individuals choose to serve with intention, positivity, and purpose. Whether you're mentoring youth, organizing a local drive, or simply spreading encouragement, your actions count, folks. And when we learn to uplift others, we actually elevate ourselves. Whatever we send out to the world boomerangs back to us. If we send out goodness, we get goodness back. If we send out hate or any kind of regret or any kind of judgment, that comes back to judge us. We feel it. Number 9, guys, turning challenges into transformations. That sounds like something that is hard to believe, but it's not. If we can understand one thing, every challenge that we've ever had and ever will have holds a hidden opportunity for a gem of transformation. It's not avoiding those hardships, because if you avoid them, you're going to miss the lesson. It's about alchemizing into something meaningful and purposeful for ourselves and for others. When we choose to pause, reflect, and act with intention that comes from our heart, struggles become turning points. You grow not in spite of what you face, but because of it. See, transformation is possible when we ask this one question. You ready? What is this here to teach me? That's powerful, guys. Very powerful. Do you ask yourself that question when you find yourself being challenged? Or do you just close up shop? Number 10, our last point for today or this evening, living compassionately with purpose. So compassion is more than just kindness. It's action driven by empathy. I've said this before. Empathy is where you start to understand someone. Very few people will take the next step, especially strangers, and become compassionate. Compassionate is when you take empathy to a whole new level and you actually either take an action to help that person or you get that person to take an action. That requires a little bit of vulnerability. And when rooted in true intention with purpose, it becomes a force for good that can heal, that can empower, and can unite. You see, living compassionately means choosing love over judgment, listening over reacting, and service over self-interest is the key, folks. Put our agenda on hold for a moment. Let's help someone else. Purpose gives your compassion direction. Together, they light the path for a meaningful life. All right? They really do. But I know so many people that have had, let's say, they've had a stumble, right? They've had a stumble, and that stumble says, John, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know how I'm supposed to react, right? I think that could be a challenge. So now you know what I want to do. I'm sure you guys know what I want to do now. This is that part of the program um, that I'm going to give you some personal stories and lessons, one for basically each point. Does that make sense, everyone? And I'm hoping that this will solidify what I'm talking about tonight and it will get you to appreciate not only who you are, but who you are becoming. And if you're still on the fence, like, hey, John, this isn't for me, I just want you to ask yourself, what if? What if it was for you? What if you did succeed? What if your grandest dreams came true tomorrow? First, would you express gratitude for those things, or would you act conceited and pompous? I hope you I hope that you would exercise gratitude. Because when we exercise gratitude, we get more things in our life that we can be grateful for. Encouraging others through adversity. Years ago, a friend of mine lost his job unexpectedly. I remember calling him daily, not to give advice, but just to remind him of his worth and to be a consistent presence and friend. Eventually, he found not only a better job, but also a renewed sense of confidence. What surprised me most was how our simple conversation strengthened me just as much. Encouragement isn't about solutions, it's about solidarity. Sometimes the greatest gift we give is showing up and believing in someone when they can't believe in themselves. And he became one of my greatest friends. Staying committed in the face of hardship. I know it can be challenging. I know it can drain you. We've all had these situations. There was a time when I poured everything into launching something and it failed within 6 months. It felt like the world had pulled the rug out from under me. Or as I was sitting at a table, somebody just yanked the tablecloth off while I was eating dinner. But instead of walking away, I took what I had learned and started over. I stayed committed to my mission even when the outcome was unclear. That uncomfortable, painful restart turned into the foundation for a more successful endeavor, a more powerful, a more successful John. Hardship isn't the end of something, it's also the refining fire that reveals what truly matters to us. It's meant to be a wake up call. So people say, hey, you need to change, right? We know what Einstein said. Doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. None of us are insane. So we need to change what we're doing so we can get different results. We can't expect the same results from doing the same thing. Leading with heart and integrity. I once had a team member who made a costly mistake during a major project. It would have been, I should say, it wouldn't have been easy to shift the blame or distance myself, but I chose to defend him publicly and correct things privately. That moment became a turning point for our team culture. We became tighter, more transparent, and more creative. People don't forget how you lead when things go wrong. Leading with heart and integrity isn't soft. It's the strongest stance you can take. And when somebody goes off course, there's no need to make a public ovation about it. Handle it privately. How would you want your situations to be held? On Grand Central Station stage or in a personal moment with somebody that seems to care about you? Celebrating progress, not perfection. A while back, I was mentoring a young professional who was paralyzed by his perfectionism. Every mistake felt like failure to him. I asked him to keep a small wins journal, and within weeks, he started seeing progress as momentum instead of a shortfall. One entity read, I didn't get everything right, but I spoke up with confidence today. I quote, that one shift celebrating progress transformed his trajectory. You don't need perfect steps. You just need ones that are forward and the same direction and that are continuous. Number five, guys, practicing everyday kindness and fairness. This seems so easy, but why don't people do it? We'll talk about that in a minute. I'll never forget the time I bought coffee for a person behind me at a drive-through. What started as a $4 gesture turned into a 12-car pay-it-forward chain. And it reminded me that kindness, no matter how small, creates ripples. In business and life, fairness and kindness aren't extras, they're essentials. People remember how you made them feel when they were unseen, unheard, or unsure of themselves. See, practice both consistently, okay? Make them feel good, and you become someone people trust without any question, without a reason. I can't tell you the numerous amount of times when people that were not welcoming to me changed their whole outlook toward me when they started to realize that I'm different than the way people were painting me. The people that were painting the picture were jealous, were envious, and were just looking to make things hard for me. I remember an organization. I'm not going to give you the details because that's not proper to air laundry, but it was an organization, a volunteer organization that does a lot for the town. And I volunteered with one, but I wanted to volunteer with this other one. And this one was going to require classes and all this stuff. And I remember being accepted, getting the nod to basically go for the education. And then things changed. There was an elder gentleman, and nothing wrong that he was elder, but he had a spike in him. He said to me, "Well, how do we know we can count on you? What happens if, you become famous? What happens if you travel? What happens if you get busy? What happens if you actually believe in me?" Is what I would have said. When I see these people, I barely even say hello. Of course, I do to be polite. But I know that these people have a problem. The problem is with me, it's with themselves. I just know that I don't refer anybody to them anymore because I don't want people to feel how I felt. I got to tell you, it was an amazing feeling knowing that I was welcomed. And then they kept wanting to have more meetings. We had like 3, and then they wanted 2 more. I'm like, how many? They're like, "We're going to have as many as we need." Well, I asked, how many meetings did such and such have? They said about 2. I said, we're now in our going to be in our we're going to be in a 6th meeting. This is crazy. They said, well, that's what it takes. And it became like this big boys club. It wasn't really about truth. Right? Number 6, learning how to build respect and foster those meaningful connections. During a conference, I struck up a conversation with someone over just a cup of coffee. I had a hot chocolate. They had a coffee. There was no agenda, just some curiosity. The connection turned into a friendship, then a collaboration, and later a joint venture. Meaningful connections aren't forced. They're nurtured with respect and true presence. The lesson: every person you meet could be a key part of your journey. Approach others with authentic interest and openness. You're not just networking, you're relationship building. You know what I want to compare this to? I'm taking database systems now, advanced database systems. And I want to let you know that there's something called an entity, right? Things that can stand on themselves, whether that could be a car or whether that could be something like subjects or courses, whatever it is, could be something intangible. But what I want to let you know, which is kind of interesting, is there's something called the primary key. Now, anything could be a primary key if we justify it, and it has a uniqueness to it. Just like every person could be the key that unlocks the potential, abundance to so many things in your life. Just sprinkle a little bit of respect, kindness, and connect with people with no agenda. And when you have no agenda, you know what's going to happen? People are going to want to get to know you. Number 7, embracing change is a path to growth. After 15 years working with one of the largest marketing and advertising companies, I pivoted and decided to fire them and take a big step, open my second company. A change that terrified me. I questioned everything. But once I embraced the unknown, I discovered parts of myself I didn't know existed: resilience, creativity, and adaptability. But really, I don't just give credit to myself. I give credit to God and to Jesus, because He's the one that really keeps me on track. Sometimes I fall off the track, but He always seems to get me back on the track. Change felt like chaos at first, but it was really an invitation to evolve and learn. The breakthrough didn't come from staying comfortable. It came from saying yes to transformation. Even in my school, now going back for my master's, I'm doing something really interesting, which is I should share with you. And that is, I decided to do summer school. But I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm doing one course in 7 weeks. The second course is 7 weeks. Now, normally your semester is 14 weeks. 7 weeks is a short period of time. And the more I do this, I'm wondering, do I want to do this again after this next 7 week class? Or do I really want to just take 2 courses in 14 weeks? Because it's a lot of reading. I feel like time just flies. But would it be different in a 14-week course? Maybe. Number 8, guys, uplifting communities with positive action. When our town's food pantry ran low, a few of us organized a community drive. We didn't have a huge platform, just big hearts. In one weekend, we collected hundreds of items and something more valuable: unity and building community. It showed me that when people come together with a shared purpose, change happens. You don't need a big stage to make a big impact. Just start small, start local. And remember, you have to start to make the change. Turning challenges into transformation, guys. I went through a major setback a while ago, and I learned that even after all the doctors had given me their prognosis, my prayers and my own dedication got me to even avoid surgery. That's a miracle. That's our Lord. The challenge forced me to transform life. Now I know I can do anything. Living compassionately with purpose might seem hard, guys. Volunteer for things. Do things without needing to have a reason. Feel good about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys in these amazing days, nights, and weekends. Have yourself a fantastic rest of that, and I'll catch you soon. Remember, believemeachieve.com. Be well, everyone.